Hey, my name is Attorney Walter Rudolph Hnot III, and I'm with Disability Resolution PA. What I want to talk to you about today, pertains to a question I get a lot from claimants that have been waiting a couple of weeks after their hearing. The question I always get, literally every single time that they call, is, hey, why does it take the administrative law judge so darn long to go ahead and adjudicate and or finalize my claim, meaning, give me a letter? And the simple reason is this, okay? They have to go through, or rather the writer does, the entire record after the hearing. And the writer has to write up a decision as to whether or not the writer, finds you disabled or not disabled. Now, of course, the judge communicates, their finding or which way they want to lean and things like that. But then it's the writer's job to go into the record and find, the reasoning in written form to place into it. Okay. Now, the judges, of course, reviewed the entire record at this point, but that writer, and if you haven't gotten one before, has to sit down and write a pretty gosh darn long denial letter. Now, if you get an approval letter, those tend to be a little bit shorter, but the denial letters sometimes can be extremely long. And the thing to keep in mind when it comes to these denial letters is that you don't want to read the very, very, very beginning, because it's all a lot of template language. If you've never read it before, go ahead, read it. But what you really want to get down to is the why pertaining to you did they deny or approve you. Okay, so let's talk about that. Why pertaining to you did they approve or deny you? At the very back section of it, they're basically going to go ahead and talk about how you meet the 5-step sequential process. Okay, they actually do a few more steps in their analysis, but the 5-step sequential process. Okay, and what they're doing is they're looking to see whether or not you first meet the insured status if you're claiming T2, Title II, SSDI claim. And then thereafter, they're basically going, does the person meet equal SGA? Has the person met SGA through any of the months, therefore making them ineligible for those months to receive back pay? Have they essentially had a disability that's lasted 12 months, will last 12 months, or be terminal? Do they meet equal or exceed a listing? And if not, do we have an RFC analysis? And what does the RFC analysis state? And what did you state in your medical documentation? What did you state in your RFCs and your 3369s and all that stuff? So what they're really trying to do is an analysis as to your ability to do certain functional tasks. Okay? And what you got to remember here is that at the end of the day, they're going to go through these consistent elements. And if you're waiting a long time, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to approve you. If you're waiting a long time, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to deny you. What it does mean is that they either have a lot of people there that are waiting to have their brief written, or, yours is, was begun, but it wasn't finished. And you've also got the thing of, hey, look, sometimes the, writing needs to go back and forth a few times because they're waiting for additional medical documentation from a secondary source. So think about that. Let's say you go to your hearing and there's a medical document that's missing and they need to send out for it. Well, guess what? They might start your medical brief, or they might start your brief at that point, but they're certainly not going to go ahead and finish it without obtaining and then reviewing and then putting into that brief that new medical, administrative, legal, or vocational legal document. Okay? So that's why it takes a long time, because they have to write up a big brief. And the brief has to have a lot of details to it. It's got to show all the elements and how they're met. And it's important to remember that, if you get a really, really quick response, that could be a bad thing too. And if you're sitting there weighing the envelope, it could be good, could be bad. The important thing to remember is that after the hearing, your attorney has a few opportunities to do a couple of things. And you need to go and ask your attorney what, could be done beyond that. My name is Attorney Walter Rudolph Hnot III. I'm with Disability Resolution PA. Remember, by the time you watch this video, the information may in fact be old hat. And please remember that, okay? If you have a unique question for your unique claim, give me a call. I'll walk you through it. All right? Thanks so much. Bye-bye.